Today's personal shopper is lead singer of one of Britain's biggest bands and has adorned many a bedroom wall of many of you out there. The band are about to mark their 20th year in the music business with a brand new album, Timeless, just out, and they're taking on a 9-date tour in December. Since their debut in 1987, they've sold over 15 million singles and albums and had 4 number one albums. In fact, they still hold the record for most consecutive weeks at number one by any UK act, with hits like With a Little Help from My Friends, Goodnight Girl, and of course Love Is All Around. He's also had 2 solo UK hits and been in the musical Chicago. Today's personal shopper is, as you've guessed, Marti Pellow of Wet Wet Wet. Hello, Marti.
Hi, Stuart.
20 years. Does it seem that long?
Sometimes
Right.
It feels more like 200, but it's when I go back and I listen to the back catalogue of songs, you have that whole documentation of the last 20 years, and I mean, it's as they say in Scotland, it's a broad thing to have.
Is it like looking through your old diaries when you listen to the songs? Do you think, that's what I was doing then, that's who I was seeing then, that's what I was living then? Does it all come back, you know?
Absolutely, you know, I mean, I have such fond memories of the first album, Popped In, Sold Out, you know, because, you know, I can remember writing most of those songs in my bedroom, you know, with the rest of the guys. And initially only 4 people believe in it, and then, you know, as you said, millions of people have come on board now.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, it holds great memories.
Popped In, Sold Out was kind of instantaneously a hit, wasn't it? Did you feel like you were an overnight sensation? Did it feel like one minute you're in a bedroom and the next minute you're on a tour bus or in an arena? Was it like that?
Well, I mean, we'd been signed with the record company for a couple of years beforehand, you know, so we'd been working at, you know, zoning in my songwriting, and, you know, we'd been to Memphis and worked with Willie Mitchell and stuff like that, but Popped In, Sold Out came out, and it just really did. We kind of went from the cover of Sounds or NME to the cover of Smash Hits, and it really, suddenly it was a big pop phenomenon, and, you know, that was cool for a little while as well.
Yeah. When you say cool for a little while, were there bits of it that weren't as cool? I mean, did you get... Is there only so much... only so often you can be screamed at by young women before it becomes terribly boring?
You've got to solve your own, haven't you, Stuart? You know, initially at first, it was, you know, it was great fun to have, and then as time goes on, you know, it was always about the music for us.
Yeah.
You know, or at least we hoped it was. But you don't have the luxury of being able to pick your audience. But having said that, you know, the people who were on board in 87 are still there in 2007, and a very loyal fan base, and have kind of grown with us as well. And I guess that they initially tapped into your enthusiasm and love for what we were doing. That's
what I was going to say. They've grown up with you, so your records have provided a soundtrack for their lives as well, and their, you know, good times and bad times or whatever. That must be quite a special relationship to have with people.
It really is, through the gift of music, and that's exactly what these songs mean to me too, you know, so I think that, you know, they can tap into that, and I mean, I'm a fan of music as well, you know, every time I hear songs like Earth, Wind and Fire, you know, Boogie Wonderland or September, you know, it takes me right back to my school disco days or whatever, you know, and I think that's the wonder of music, that, you know, it's a backdrop for real life, and if you can tap into a song that does that for you, I mean, it's great, especially the older you get, you know, it's nice to be able to reflect the gift of music.
And you're getting out on the road again very soon, some big gigs here, a major arena tour. Is it still as much fun as it's always been? I mean, I guess the tour buses are swankier now, but, you know, is it still as much fun?
I think it has to be, you know, because that's where we cut our teeth, was in a live format, and we love that environment. You know, because we love being able to get out there and play these gigs. You know, recently we did small gigs that were only maybe to an invited audience of maybe 200 or 300 people. And you could see the whites of their eyes. But you know, this arena tour is back to the 10,000, 15,000 seat arenas, and you know, we're still packing them in. You know, and I think that's great. You know, for us, because we can get on there and we can play songs from the new album as well as drawn from the back catalogue, which is extensive, decades. Because, you know, so it's finding that balance where you can play the old songs as well as play the new songs, if you like, kind of entertain and educate at the same time.
Okay, tell me about this shopping basket. There's some good stuff in here. There's a brilliant CD. Tell me about this CD that you've picked, Marti.
The I'm Still in Love with You Al Green album. For me, was one of the first albums that I ever bought of Al Green, and I just it really became a major player in my life. Al Green and the producer Willie Mitchell, and you know, and I spend a lot of time in Memphis myself and recording my solo stuff. And the song "Love and Happiness" just freaked me out the first time I heard it. But there's a track on it called "Simply Beautiful," which is, you know, the title, and it's just a wonderful album, released in 1972.
He's just an amazing singer, isn't he?
he's just an amazing singer. He's a singer, and you know, just the way he's phrasing. Yeah, Ollie Mitchell really taught him well.
Sure. Oh, you had the pleasure of working with, didn't you, as well? Yeah.
Well, yeah, on many occasions as a young man and later on in my career also, you know, so he's been a real mentor to me. You know, he just knows how to go about working with singers and getting performances. That's paramount rather than, you know, is the tuning okay there? It's all about the performance.
Sure,
live.
Yeah. I remember once reading an interview with Elvis Costello where he was asked, do you believe in the supernatural? And he said, well, I once saw Al Green live. Which is a brilliant answer. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, recently Elvis Costello was in town in Memphis, and he went and visited Billy Mitchell, and you know, he's such a big fan, and I think that, you know, musicians do love Al Green and Billy Mitchell because, you know, they know how to go about a song.
Great. We'll hear a little in a while, but first, secondly rather, a DVD, Marty. What have you chosen?
My DVD choice is Blade Runner. I think it's just one of the best movies in the last 30 years that I've seen. You know, I really loved the whole Vangelis soundtrack, and just the director's cut, especially once they get rid of the narration. You know, I thought it even made more sense.
Sure,
A nice wee bit of trivia here.
Go on.
The part that was played by Daryl Hannah was first offered, I believe, to Debbie Harry.
Really?
I would have liked to have seen her in that role, but I mean, Daryl Hannah was fantastic in it, but.
She is, but that's worth knowing. That's a good bit of pub trivia to impress people with, isn't it?
You know, here we go, man.
Thank you very much.
We're ready for the pub quiz now.
Use that.
More person.
I'll use that and pass it off as my own at some point. And what about your book, Marty?
My book, I'm a great lover of autobiographies, and The Moon's a Balloon by David Niven was just a fantastic read for me, because it just fascinated me, that man, and especially the follow-up as well to Bring on the Dancing Horses, but The Moon's a Balloon in particular, because I just think that he would have been a great man, a great raconteur, and a great man to have round for dinner. And I just love these stories about Hollywood when they really did create stars, if you like.
Yeah. Fantastic. Al Green, Blade Runner and The Moon's a Balloon, all in the shopping basket. I should tell you that Timeless by Wet 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 is available now. The tour begins at the Don Valley Grass Bowl in Sheffield. It goes on to the NEC, the MEN Arena in Manchester, Sheffield, Belfast, Glasgow, Aberdeen, Newcastle, Cardiff, finishing up at the Wembley Arena on December the 14th. And I hope it all goes really well. Thanks for joining us, Marty.
Stuart, the pleasure's all mine, anytime.